We'll see how it plays out during the night. Mike, Scott, how you doing? I have one question for you. Does Bulldozer have anything for the Gravedigger? Take it away, guys.
I don't know, Dan. That's quite a challenge, though. Gravedigger is tough everywhere these monster trucks run. And tonight, running in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Outside, great crowd, great atmosphere here in Florida. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Hogwood. Welcome to Monster Jam along with Scott Douglas. I think we've got a great field of monster trucks.
No question about it. One of the best fields. And, of course, that great little question. How is Tom Mintz going to fit in as the brand-new Bulldozer driver against the legendary Gravedigger? But we've got a great field tonight. Prowler is here with Dave Pizzo, of course, coming down out of Michigan to go at it. And, of course, Barefoot. Todd Frolic has struggled of late, but Barefoot always a top contender. Little Tiger may be a guy to watch. Brian Barthel has been very good on these U-turning courses. And we got our first look at the Devil's Dodge. Larry Birch, in out of New York, to drive the Devil's Dodge. Of course, the Monster Patrol in the house. That means Paul Schaefer is going to be loaded, going after especially the Ford.
Scott, I think Predator's got a good shot tonight. He can surprise some people. And then, of course, there's always the man, Dennis Anderson, in the Gravedigger, the crowd favorite again here tonight. And another favorite, Carolina Crusher, running a little bit better of late. And then we've got two trucks I think will challenge. Gunslinger has been running awfully strong. And how about Bulldozer? He says he's got what it takes here tonight.
Of course, they're all chasing Gravedigger when we start talking about the championship points. Monster Patrol sits in the second spot, but a big lead for the Digger. You see Barefoot in the third spot as we look at the top five.
And down through the second five, Carolina Crusher, King Crunch. And how about Little Tiger breaking into the top 10?
Also on tonight's show, the Pro Stadium trucks are back. Another very tough course, some great jumps and ramps. This will be some exciting competition.
Hang on, we've got a lot of monster trucks, stadium trucks. It's all coming your way on Monster Jam.
I mean, everybody knows that the Hemi just puts out horsepower, and I just got to be comfortable. Once I'm comfortable in the corner, I can generally horsepower them back to the ramp again. So for me, it's just probably like everybody getting through that corner smooth.
Right now, I think all the trucks is just as fast as anybody else. It's the driver not making a mistake and getting over the cars and the right gear ratio. It takes a lot, a whole lot. Once I put the helmet on, I just flat foot it and try to keep it out of some kind of mistake if I can. Otherwise, you know, I'm going to the winner's circle. I tell you what, bulls are bad. You know, this is one bad animal right here, and it's looking for some excitement tonight.
And this truck right here, I got to swing wide, so I got to make sure I got enough steam to run them down. They may beat me through the turn, but I got to kill them getting to the cars, you know. So I got to have enough steam that I can catch them on the other end.
The Bulldozer has guaranteed he'll beat Gravedigger. A lot of Digger fans are here. Let's hear about this match.
Now, you've seen Bulldozer before. However, there's a new driver in town. His name is Tom Mintz. Remember that name? That's right. Used to drive Monster Patrol. Used to work with Paul Schaefer. That's over. This is his rig now.
Well, you know, everybody just wants to break out and be on their own. It's a great opportunity for me to be on my own and do my own thing. And, you know, I've always had a great time with this, so I'm just going to keep on doing it and getting better.
You're new on the circuit this year with Bulldozer. You're just getting going. You've been watching the shows up till now. Gravedigger has kind of been untouchable. Can Dennis be brought down?
I don't have no trouble with Dennis. We raced a lot. We're good friends. But I'll tell you what, I'm coming back out here with a vengeance. I'm looking to win.
Hey, we'll see when we get out there. We'll see what the old bull does.
Yeah, we will see. And right now,
I love this.
I do too. We're going to see what Todd Frolic from Pontoon Beach, Illinois, can do against Prowler, Dave Pizzo.
Well, Dave Pizzo, again, kind of new with the Prowler truck anyway. He's been around helping the Predator team for years. He's been at it for about 8 years. But the Prowler has had his ups and downs this year still. He dropped Barefoot in the first round. Probably is not the way Dave wanted to show up in Orlando.
And let's remind everybody that we do have a U-turn course here as we watch our first run. And the finish line is really in the middle of the track after they make that U-turn. So it is important to get down quick, and it is important to make that turn very, very smooth.
This is a great course. It's been built well by the United States Hot Rod officials and their dirt crew. They've done a super job. The ramps are excellent, and I think we're going to see a lot of air. We're going to see a lot of great racing. Guys are going to have to negotiate the turn, but still have the power to finish up strong if they're going to win.
All right, that is Prowler and Barefoot ready to go, and they are off.
As expected, barefoot with the early lead. Watch Todd in the turn. That's where he struggled this year. Not bad, not bad.
Struggled just a little bit, but the extra horsepower powers him on. Frolics did struggle down there in the turn. You were right, Scott, but the horsepower was a big difference.
No question about it. And, you know, Todd's trying to kind of regain some confidence, as we've seen here on Motor Madness in the last few weeks. He's really had it tough. Well, this barefoot legendary team, Todd feels a lot of pressure to really try and win, and he's looking good off the start today.
Barefoot and Todd Frolic come away with the winner of our first battle.
Barefoot looked awfully strong, and for the past few times you were like, you know, Dan, I'm not really running that well. But you know, that's changed.
Yeah, Scott asked me, Harsog with Gunslinger asked me if I got the monkey off my back. We've been having nickel and dime things break that take us out of the races. The rear steering brakes, and I said it's a $5 part. I mean, but you're done. You're done for the night, and all you got left's freestyle, you know. So hopefully tonight everything will stay in the truck, and Fred Schaefer, the old owner of it's here tonight, so it kind of gives me a special one. I'm trying to win it for him too, you know.
I mean, a $5 part's one thing, but psychologically it's a lot more expensive than that. Todd Frolic's got to have his head together to make sure he can run this thing.
Yeah, and I haven't had my head on at all. I mean, from the get-go, it's been bad, but we're trying to focus tonight. We're going to get out of the hole hard, and we're just going to hammer on, man. I can do it. I know I can do it, and I'm going to do it for the Barefoot fans and for Fred, and just stay with us, man.
We've done it in the past, and I'll tell you, that first run looked like you're back on track.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Todd Frolic talking about those $5 parts. Well, they're all racing for a portion of the $100,000 Pace Motorsports point fund. Buy a lot of $5 parts. More monster trucks coming your way on Monster Jam. Stay here with us on PNN's Motor Madness. Monster truck action from the Citrus Bowl 2. Relatively underdog trucks, Devil's Dodge and Little Tiger. And let's learn more about Devil's Dodge in our Jam Pack.
What does the name mean?
I don't know. If you looked at my boss, he looks like a little devil. Kind of like the guy in the quarterfinal. Except he's got a bald head.
Can we say this? Where's the first time you saw this and said, I got to get me one of those?
Oh, we were mud racing, and then we switched over to tractor tires to get more ground clearance to get through the mud. And then we wound up getting wider tires and going over cars instead. And going over cars is a lot more fun than going through the mud. We have trucks in New York, too. We have snow. We have four-wheel drives. You know, we got hills and mountains. And, you know, coming down here show these guys how to do, you know, go fast and beat some trucks up. We were up in New York, and there was a small, inside of a hockey ring, you know. That's where we race. Now you come out here, and there's some football field. Now it's some racing. Get some speed. Oh, no doubt. We are the biggest kids. We just got bigger toys, you know. We never grew up. You know, we got our toy boxes. We got our toys, you know. You can't go home unless you put every stuff away, and then we move on to the next place to play with our toys. No, it's just for the thrills. It's for the kids. It's for just having a good time. You know, it's better than sitting around having a regular job. Who wants to work when you could be here in sunny Florida having a good time?
So you get the perspective from Frank Fonte, the new hot shoe behind the wheel for Larry Birch's Devil's Dodge team. Fonte in the 99 Dakota, first year, so rookie in competition, draws Brian Barthel and Little Tiger. Now, Little Tiger is one of these guys that we have seen here on Motor Madness who may not be a Gravedigger Carolina Crusher name, but is a guy that can beat anybody anytime. Watch out for Little Tiger.
Handles well, maybe under horsepowered a little bit, and that is Little Tiger, who is on the bottom of your screen. Boy, Little Tiger makes that turn nicely.
You want to swing out a little wide, and he did it beautifully.
Something happened to Devil's Dodge.
Yep, you're right.
Something broke on Devil's Dodge. You could tell going into the turn, then there's nothing there. Let's watch this run.
It doesn't sound good right off the get-go. I mean, it just not sounds like it's firing like you want your machine to sound. And boy, you can listen right there. It's just not happening. And I don't know if Frank shuttered it. No, if something goes away, he's forced to shut down right there.
Tough break for Devil's Dodge, but Brian Barthel and Little Tiger looking strong here in first round action.
See how he swings through there? I just love the way he made that turn, kept the wheels rolling, didn't spin anything, and squared up beautifully for the jump.
Let's find out what happened to Devil's Dodge.
Frank, what happened?
I know, we just started dropping cylinders. I'm not really sure what went wrong. It's too hot right now to even look at it. We're going to take it apart and see if we can fix it for the next round. And we're not out of this yet.
You sure?
I'm not sure about anything yet. I know we dropped a whole bunch of cylinders, and it doesn't sound very good, but we're going to try.
All right.
You know, so never say never. Never say never.
How's the owner? He's still smiling. I see him.
Still smiling. Yeah. He's all right. He's got plenty. He can fix it, you know. We'll get there.
You still get a juice out of this, don't you?
Oh, yeah. This is adrenaline junkie. That's what I am. This is it. This does it for me.
I like Frank's enthusiasm. Super run, as you said, for Little Tiger. It's kind of like the way you described that in the turn. That was what won it for him and what is his key to victory.
All right, Brian, you took out Devil's Dodge. He had who knows what dropped out of the bottom of his truck, but does it really matter when you win it?
No, it really don't matter. He has some problems, and everybody has their share. I'll take the win any way I can get it. The truck felt good, and the track feels real good.
How'd you run? The track felt nice. Did you hold up a little bit when you saw that he was not coming anyplace?
Yeah, I took it a little bit easy on the turn when I saw he was a little bit behind me, just so I get a feel for it, because I got barefoot next round, and I'm going to have to really pour it on.
Little Tiger, though, feels good?
Yeah, it feels real good tonight.
How's the track feel? It's different out there.
Yeah, the track feels good. The jumps are good, and everything. The corner's a little tight, but that's got to put it on the driver instead of the truck.
I mean, I hear a little tight, but everyone says, you know what? It's a driver's course.
Yeah, it's a driver's course tonight. There is no doubt. I mean, the corner is so tight, and the big cone down there, you can't run it over. You're disqualified. It's a driver's night.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay, Dan, good job down there in the pits. And as Dan was talking to Frank Fani as we move to our second round, did want to point out that in this first round, Mike, actually 3 of the fastest qualifiers will come back for the second round. Paul Schaefer, though, would rather be a winner, not a fast qualifier in Monster Patrol.
Yeah, Monster Patrol going up against Predator and Alan Pizzo, 16 years in competition, and he is a tough one. You know, we talk about this being a driver's track. Pizzo might be one to beat, but there's Monster Patrol, bottom of your screen. Monster Patrol with an big hold shot.
Slid off the back.
Wow.
Monster Patrol slid off the back of the course. And Pizzo wins it in the Predator. Wow.
Big mistake for Paul Schaefer. We talked about it being a driver's track. And watch here, Monster Patrol just flat out makes a mistake.
I got to tell you, this is stunning to me because we talk about, it's like you say, a driver's track. You don't expect this out of someone as good and as strong as Paul Schaefer, but he did. He just went in too hard, slid off the course. Pizzo, smooth and steady, will go to the second round, and we'll see if Monster Patrol's fast enough to come back as a fast qualifier.
There you look at Alan Pizzo, who advances on in round 1. Hey, how do you like this for a first-round battle? Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher, Dennis Anderson, Gravedigger, 2 veterans battle it out. Coming up next on Motor Madness Monster Jam.
If you're through a whole winter series, you actually never get caught up. Because when you thrash on the truck and you fix what you trashed, your regular maintenance goes down on the truck. Right now, we're pretty much up to snuff. Cosmetically, the truck's still not in ace #1 shape like we'd like to have it. But I'd rather for it to run fast and hard before it shines, you know, so it takes both to make it, but I'm interested in winning and hanging on to my flag.
After the accident in Houston, how's the truck performing for you?
It seems to be doing good. You know, we went back home, did a lot of work to it, a lot of hours, but I think we have everything back as good as it was or better.
After something like that, how do you feel driving it again? Do you like say, you know, I kind of want to lay off it a little bit tonight?
Well, not really. You know, I guess years ago, the first time I turned one over, you know, I probably laid off of it a little bit, but, you know, I've done it so many times, you know, I'm ready to go tonight.
I think that's the way they all feel these days. Yeah, you may turn it over in Houston, but back here in Orlando,
Well, there's just so much on the line. So much on the line to try and win the championship. And Dennis Anderson right now in control of the point standings as we've seen. The Gravedigger leading for that $100,000 Pace Motorsports Championship point fund. But, you know, he has raced Gary Porter, I would say, more than anybody else. And these two guys have had wars over the years.
You see that checkered flag in the back? He owns the flag. That's what these guys want to take away from him. Gary Porter has had a bit of a tough season so far this year in the Carolina Crusher, and I know he'd love to get things turned around now. Out of Waitsboro, North Carolina, been in the business 13 years. But Porter is hoping that at some point this year, it's all going to turn around for him.
It's going to be interesting to see how he goes through it. He's going through a change himself. Gary has been one of the independents running up and down the road as an owner-driver. He has now sold the operation, but intends to keep running the Carolina Crusher. So the pressures of owning the team off him, he's just looking to drive and win. And again, he wants to get that checkered flag back from Gravedigger. The checkered flag signifies who won the last Motor Madness event on TNN.
Gravedigger, that Chevy panel truck.
Good race.
Not a bad turn from either driver, and it's going to be Gravedigger.
Half a truck length.
But Carolina Crusher, a good run, and that fast run might get him back as a fast qualifier. His night might not be over.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt he'll be back in the second round because they're picking up the 3 fastest who don't win in the first round. And Gary had a great run. You see it here. Got a great shot off the hole. So he's off to a good start. Turned it very well. You know, Dennis swings a little wider, but Gary didn't lose a lot of momentum despite the tight turns. And he was there at the end, about a half a length short. Good run for the Crusher.
It was a good run for Gary Porter, one that ought to boost his spirits a bit. And there you see the checkered flag on the back of Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger, really the fan favorite here. Listen to the crowd cheer when he was. It's incredible.
For a first round, that was one hell of a matchup.
Yeah, it was. The 2 Carolina boys. And hey, the track felt pretty good. I just felt like I was slow in that turn, though. I had to slow down quite a bit. I beat Gary, but I think I caught Gary off guard. Gary can run better than that.
It was really great coming down over the tabletop to the finish was really where you took him. The thing is, though, that corner makes this track a real driver's track.
Yeah, it does, because I tell you, you got to have controlled speed coming into it. It takes you a little bit to get the feel of it, you know, so you kind of get the feel of the right lane. Well, who knows? Next time I might have to run the left lane, and heck, we'll find out, man. I'm just going to wheel that thing around there and gag on it.
Hey, early tonight we heard Bulldozer and Tom Mintz say they're going to do it all. It's going to be tough.
He's going to have to start off with a tough draw. Gunslinger gets the guns blazing for Bulldozer next.
We'll have that matchup next on Monster Jam.
Be sure to catch live Pace Motorsports action this weekend. Douglas County Fairgrounds, Monster Jam in Roseburg, Oregon. Then down to Salinas, California at the Fairgrounds. And in June, we head back east, Syracuse, then Terre Haute and Hagerstown in July. Don't miss the live Pace Motorsports action.
As we talked about going to break, we got a great first-round matchup here. Gunslinger and Bulldozer. Gunslinger, of course, has been really hot lately. Has been a winner a lot of times in this Monster Jam series. Scott Hartsock.
He goes up against Bulldozer. We've already documented Tom Mintz. First time out in this new truck, the former Monster Patrol driver in what he calls a 1999 Bull. But look at that engine, one of those big Keith Black Hemis. And believe me, Mintz, as he said to us before the show, he's been watching Motor Madness all year. It's killing him. He hasn't been on television. He's ready to show everybody he belongs there tonight.
Look at him in the cockpit of that machine right there, huh? His heart has to be pounding. You know, his first ride in that kind of a machine.
And he's been, waiting for this all night, but he also has to go up against Gunslinger and Hartsock, who he's been watching win on Motor Madness already twice this year.
Well, Hartsock, the 2-time winner. It is Bulldozer, who is in the near lane.
Maiden voyage for the big Bull with Tom Mintz behind the wheel. He's looking good, but so is Gunslinger. Great race.
This is a good race. And look at the horsepower from Bulldozer. Wow. How do you like that? First time out, first time there, it is Bulldozer.
That's how you come into a race confident, Mike, when you know you've got this kind of power. We know Tom Mintz is a talented driver, as is Scott Hartsock, but watch. They're even there, and he just blows him away coming for home. Wow.
Here's Gunslinger. Not a bad run for Scott Hartsock. As he likes to say, is cocked, locked, and ready to rock. He was rocking here.
Yeah. Nothing wrong at all with that run. Got a little sideways off the turn, but at this point, he saw Mintz had pulled ahead and was just trying to do anything he could. Now we'll look at Bulldozer, Mike, and man, did he have a great run. Got through it, and here's where he just exploded. He absolutely exploded on that final jump.
Tom, how does it feel to be back?
I tell you what, it feels great out there. I was a little nervous at first, but once I left the line, it was like it's always been, you know. I feel real good. Scott's a real good opponent, but I laid down a real nice run. I'm looking forward to the next round.
A couple guys have already said the way he took that corner, man, he looked strong.
Yeah, this thing always has cornered pretty well for me. I don't know. Get used to it running freestyle, run it like that, doing freestyle, and then, it helps you out when you're racing.
I think it's going to be fast. I hope it's going to be fast. Anyway, I'll know after I run that first round.
We're back to another U-turn turning course here. What we got is we got some good hook and clay out there. It's we're going to have to go ahead. We got 2 obstacles down the first straightaway that we have to attack. If we get over those, we get into a good sharp corner that we got to address down there, and it's a real tight corner this weekend. Once we get into that corner, we got a short straightaway to the cars. I got a pretty good ramp, so we're going to see a lot of air. when we touch off down there at the other end, you know, we're going to really have to burp these throttles to keep the trucks down to plant the power to the finish line.
You just got to keep with it and go through the gears, and, you know, you'll finally hook up and you get the wheels going so fast. And I think the guys that really get with it right off the bat, and whoever makes the best turn out there, he's going to win, I believe.
The turn is critical. All right, our round one is complete. Let's take a look at the brackets.
Predator and Little Tiger will be going up into action in the second round. Barefoot is going to go up against Gunslinger, one of our fastest qualifiers. Gravedigger, Monster Patrol, Bulldozer, and Carolina Crusher. Wow.
In other words, we got a lot more great monster truck action on the way. And also, coming up next, here's a good event for you. Pro Stadium Trucks. Always one of the favorites, and it's something the crowd is anticipating here in Orlando. Hang around for it on Motor Madness. 5 long months, 15 grueling rounds, one final Las Vegas blowout. The Pace Supercross final round is tomorrow night at Sam Boyd Stadium. Tickets are available at pacemotorsports.com. Catch the live Supercross webcast at pacesupercross.com, 10:30 p.m. Eastern every Saturday night. Now, before we get back to monster truck action, we've got some Pro Stadium Truck highlights. This is the semifinal run. Mark Reed in the white truck and Bill Holliday in a black number 6. Watch what happens here to Mark Reed as he catches a little air and tries to make that turn. It's not going to happen for him.
Once you get up on 2 wheels in the Pro Stadium trucks, you're pretty much done, and that gets the victory to number 6, Bill Holliday, one of the Outlaw Boggers team that came with us in Orlando.
So Bill Holliday moves on to the finals, and he will battle either Thomas White or Ken Avis.
Thomas Ray White has been a regular here on Motor Madness and had some great runs and comes away with a victory over Avis here that catapults him.
I like the animals on Ken's truck.
Yeah, you do, but it will be White nonetheless going into the finals.
Thomas Ray White wins, so that sets it up between Thomas Ray White and Bill Holliday. And it was... Holliday had some real problems getting going there.
Almost like he didn't see the green or forgot to hit the throttle, and White gets the early jump over the Outlaw Boggers machine. Holliday trying to come back, but Thomas Ray White's had a great winner, and he comes away a victor here.
Thomas Ray White, your winner in the Pro Stadium Trucks. Coming up, we got more monster truck action. Hang with us. It's all next on TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jam tonight from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida.
And when you get that full tire print to hook in good clay, you got good hook and clay. It's going to actually drag you right down in the corner because the clay is going to actually grab that tire as you start to slow down in the corner.
Just a good wet clay. I mean, packed solid. You know you're in for wheelies. That's the thing about hook and clay. You can ride wheelies out, and it gets fun then.
It's like a good hook and clay, like somewhere where the tires can really get a bite on something. Pick the front wheels up, sit you back in the seat, and really get a good bite.
And when you get that full tire print to hook in good clay, you got good hook and clay.
I think we got some good hook and clay here tonight in Orlando, and Scott Hartsook and Gunslinger getting ready to do battle with Barefoot.
Well, we talked about Todd Frolick trying to shake off what's been a dismal early part of the season, really throughout the middle part of the season in terms of TNN's Motor Madness action and that battle for the share of the Pace Championship Motorsports $100,000 point fund. And you look at Frolick trying to really make a statement tonight. Gunslinger is going to be a tough opponent. He's back in because he was the fastest of our first round losers or qualifiers, so he's back. You know, it means a lot to Frolick, as he mentioned in that first interview, Mike. Don't misunderstand that it's not a big deal because Fred Schaefer, the man who made Barefoot the team what it is here tonight with him. Todd really wants to put on a great show for him. He wants to shake off what's been going on all winter and come out strong. He looked good in the first round, but you know Gunslinger is a tough opponent.
Both drivers are focused now and preparing for their second round run. Gunslinger and Barefoot. And it's pretty even off the start. We'll see what happens in the turn.
Wow, what a jump. Barefoot caught him in the air.
That was incredible.
Wow.
Todd Frolic and Barefoot was beaten by Scott Hartson. They were dead beaten coming out of the turn. It was a pretty good run for Gunslinger as you see him make the turn. But you know what you said about Todd Frolic and just really giving it that little extra tonight, that little bit of extra paid off. Watch this run.
That's exactly what it is, Mike. And he just sucked it up. He saw he was behind, and he has those 3 words under that hood. Keith, Black, Hemi, and a lot of heart and a lot of guts. He pulled it out.
Todd, you took Gunslinger out. He's running well this year. But you know what? I guess your confidence is coming back.
I don't know if it's that or what, but it was a good run. I'd like to see the video because I honestly thought he won. I looked over in the air, and it looked like he was ahead of me, but the officials called it at the end. I know they do the best they can, so I'll take the win.
All right, coming up now, we have Little Tiger getting ready to go up against Predator. Ryan Barthel seemed to have a lot of confidence here tonight.
Well, he does well on the turning courses, as we've seen, and the turning courses that, as the drivers have been telling us, this one is what they call a driver's course. Barthel feels real comfortable and at home. He feels like he's got the talent to go up against these guys. He may be a little down in horsepower, but he thinks this is the kind of track he can win on. Predator, always, though, a tough competitor, and Alan Pizzo does have a lot of horses.
Alan Pizzo with a lot of experience, particularly on these type of courses. So we'll see what happens here. This should be a great one. At the bottom of your screen, that is Little Tiger. Little Tiger a little bit behind, but might make it up in the turn.
Beautiful turn by Brian Barthel. Now, how do they square up?
Oh, Predator had some problems. Predator did not get squared up at all. Little Tiger was perfect. Little Tiger the winner.
Got to call that one an upset. Let's watch Alan Pizzo, and you'll see what happens. He gets a nice start, and he's got the lead. But in the turn, Mike, when he comes around, he actually overturns it, and he's not squared up for the cars.
Right. He was not able to match that throttle there for that final run to the finish, and that's what killed him. Little Tiger, the winner. Pretty smooth run for Brian Barthel.
Another look right here at the driver out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Barthel doesn't panic when he's behind. He can see Predators ahead of him, but he knows he's got a shot in the turn. And really, that wasn't Brian Barthel's best turn. He actually had to get off the throttle just for a bit in the turn, but he still came back to win.
And because Predator could not straighten up, that was the gave Little Tiger the win, and Brian Barthel was a great champion here.
He's in the semis now.
All right, Brian, you got Todd Frolic, Barefoot in the semifinals. How's that feel?
It's a little eerie. This is the best field of trucks I've had a chance to run with all year. I've been doing a bunch of smaller deals for pace, and this is the first time I got to go with all the big boys.
Well, guess what? When you make the semifinals with the big boys, you're doing something right, Brian.
Yeah, it's a driver's course, and luckily tonight's my night to drive.
How's she holding up?
It's holding up real good. Just pour some fuel in it and get ready for the next round.
You feel like you can do a good job out here? Better than you've done already? I mean, you've already taken down 2 top contenders. You got Frolic next.
Yeah, like I said, Todd's tough. I'm just going to give him everything I got, and hopefully I can outdrive him, because he'll out-horsepower me, but I can maybe outdrive him.
Being your 3rd race of the night, are there things you've learned about the course that you have to use this race?
Yeah, the corners are getting real tore up and real bumpy, and the turns getting real hard to make.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Congrats to Little Tiger making it to the semifinals. Coming up, how about Grave Digger and Monster Patrol? That's a showdown you won't want to miss. And that's coming up next right here on TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jam. www.pacemotorsports.com. Want to log on for a lot of good information. How about this matchup, Scott? Monster Patrol and Grave Digger. Wow.
You talk about a race that you're normally used to seeing in the finals. This is just the quarterfinals to see who gets to move into the Final 4. Paul Schaefer and Monster Patrol. Looks like he's getting ready to pull you over. He'd love to pull Grave Digger over right now, but Dennis has no plans on stopping, believe me.
Oh, and this packed house here in the Citrus Bowl tonight is going to be on its feet for this one. They love Grave Digger, and Monster Patrol running well. They know that they are in for something.
Look at all those flags up there. The checkered flags and the skull and crossbones flags are actually kind of little Grave Digger mementos that are sold. You can see how many of the fans want to have a Grave Digger memento to wave at him when Dennis Anderson comes out. Right now, Paul Schaefer just wants to wave at him in the rearview mirror. This is going to be a great race.
And when you heard our track announcer here trying to get the crowd fired up for Grave Digger, they go crazy. All right, here we go. What a turn by Dennis Anderson. Oh, that was awesome. That may have been the best turn we've seen all night.
It was, and the turn has killed Paul Schaefer both times. Remember, he slid off the course in the first round, Mike. And as you called it here, Dennis just whipped him in the turn on this race. Into the turn, taking a look. It wasn't a bad turn. It was just that Dennis was brilliant.
Here you see Dennis Anderson, that checkered flag flying on the back. He's trying to hang on to it here tonight. My, that's what makes Dennis Anderson one of the best in this business.
Much, much better than his first round run, and that's what you're talking about, Mike, is a guy who goes out, gets a look at the course, gets a feel, and then he comes back that much better the second time through. Very impressive win for the man on top, the Gravedigger.
All right, now it's the Bulldozer. We told you the story of Tom Mintz. This is his first night ever in this monster truck, and he's going up against another one of the fast qualifiers, Carolina Crusher Gary Porter from Wadesboro, North Carolina.
How's the Crusher running?
Well, it's running great. You know, Gravedigger had a little delay there on the starting line, and I thought I was running a by run until I got down to the other end and making a turn, and I seen Gravedigger over there. I was like, boy, I better go. But, you know, he beat me, and I was lucky enough to come back, you know, as a fast loser. And, you know, I got a tough competitor coming up this next round, and we're going to have to put that old bull out the pasture.
I got to tell you, you guys had the fastest qualifying round of anybody. That first heat was cruising for two Carolina boys.
It was moving on pretty good. You know, the truck sort of took a weird bounce there on over the second jump, but, you know, I adjusted the shocks a little bit, and I think we'll be okay for this round.
You got a feel for the track now?
Yeah, I think so.
Have a good time, Gary.
Hey, why don't you ride right there and you can drive the rear and I'll drive the front.
You got it. I'm going to stand right here the whole time, you guys. We'll see when I come back, all right?
Yeah, right.
I'm coming down.
That's the second time tonight, Dan. We've seen you inside the truck.
You're not staying in there either, buddy.
He's not staying in there. No way.
You can talk a big game, but I don't think we're going to strap him in. Bulldozer ready to go against Crusher. And, you know, we've talked about Tom Mintz and his guarantees and his chance to really, what he sees is make it back with the big boys here, but it does not get any easier. After dispatching Gunslinger, he gets Crusher, and as Gary said, there's nothing wrong with his first run. Dennis Anderson just beat him, so Bulldozer better be ready with everything he's got.
Carolina Crusher trying to get his season really turned around here, and he's looked pretty good, pretty strong, and you can see what a great attitude Gary Porter has. Is still upbeat, still confident that he can get the job done in that Carolina Crusher machine. We're ready to go here. Pretty even off the start.
Yeah, excellent start by both of them. Now watch the turn. They both turn well. There's where Mintz has been hammering.
This is even. Oh, Bulldozer. Tom Mintz and Bulldozer got it. Carolina Crusher, not a bad run, but it was too much Bulldozer.
If we were talking about a track meet or a distance run right now, what we'd be talking about with Mr. Tom Mintz is a kick. Watch the kick at the finish. He has actually come off the turn both times behind and just hammered.
Getting a lot of air. Gary Porter, not a bad run. That truck has really been running strong.
Solid and consistent, but just wasn't enough to be able to handle a man on a mission is the best way you can look at Tom Mintz right now. Bulldozer's got something to prove, and so far through 2 rounds, he's proven it.
Another angle, looking at it down low. You can kind of get a sense of how much these trucks bounce around a little bit. But Tom Mintz, our winner here.
Tom, there were no jitters. I'm telling you, semifinals, here we come.
It feels good. I tell you what, we got one North Carolina boy out of the way and one to go. He's probably the tougher one.
Well, they say he's a tough one, but as far as driving corners, you've said in the past, Gary Porter really knows what the hell he's doing out there. You handle him pretty well.
Yeah, he's definitely Mr. Consistency, you know, but he probably got to the corner quicker than I did, so I had to pick it up a little bit, but it sure felt good.
How does Bulldozer feel?
It feels real good. I tell you what, it's one wild animal, that's for sure.
Anything you're going to change in the semifinals? Anything you got to work on, tweak, anything at all?
I don't think we're going to mess with much right now. We got the other lane this time. We haven't been over there, but that's all right with us. We turned this as well left and right. It don't matter.
So now you got Gravedigger in the semifinals.
Grave who? Yeah. Gravedigger? Who's that? Oh, yeah. I seen him on TV one time. Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he?
You know, guys, with that much confidence, you can't count him out, and you got to have that kind of confidence with this much power underneath you. Upstairs to you guys.
Well, I think we've got a great semifinal matchup here in Orlando.
Little Tiger is surprised, but Barefoot's there too. And then Gravedigger and Bulldozer. Tom Mintz knows who Gravedigger is.
I'll bet he does.
Semifinals, you got Bulldozer, but Tom said Grave who?
Yeah, that's Tom with his jokes. Tom's running good out there, and he knows he is. He's making that turn fantastic. He's probably making that turn better than anybody else is. I just got to beat him to the turn, and then I'm going to have to run him down after I come out of the turn, because he'll definitely make that turn a lot sharper than I can.
See, the thing is, Tom hasn't been around much this season, and now he has Bulldozer going. He wants the flag, you know.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he does. But, hey, we'll just see. May the best man win is all I can say.
What are you going to do differently in a semifinal race that you didn't do in the qualifying or quarterfinals on a track like this?
I don't know. I think I'm going to try to cut that pole just a little bit closer at the other end. I may mess up, but, hey, who knows? It's a 50-50 chance.
You're running great.
That's right. You either make history or be history.
Way to go, Dennis.
All right, thanks.
We've got a great semifinal ahead for you, and I think Dennis Anderson knows it's going to be tough for him. We'll have a semifinal preview coming up next here on TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jam. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Roaring back at you with TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jamming for high-flying action. The #1 place on the line, the champion to be crowned AMA Supercross at Las Vegas Sandboy Stadium. And remember, you can catch it on the internet. Listen to the webcast at acemotorsports.com.
Hey, our Maylocks Minute tonight, I don't think there's any doubt about it. Mark Reed, who came here with some high hopes in his Pro Stadium trucks, made it to the semifinals, and then, you know what he did? Flipped it over. That was tough.
Went up on his lid. And this was a chance to get to the finals. He actually had the lead at that point.
All right, we're ready for the semifinals. Barefoot will be there, high flying. And Todd Frolic is regaining some of his confidence.
Little Tiger's the surprise in the Final Four. He'll draw Barefoot when we get back to the semifinal round. And Little Tiger has got a shot because of the way he handles the turn.
No matter where the monster trucks run, Gravedigger always has a chance to win it all. Same here in Orlando.
He's going to try to protect that checkered flag, and here's the man who really wants it. He said he's on a mission. He's guaranteed to win. So far, Tom Mintz has been there.
Well, that's it for week 1 from Orlando, but guess what? We get to come back here again and do it all over again next week. You got to love the finals. Tom Mintz and Bulldozer, a man and a truck of their word.
Gravedigger may dig the graves, but Bulldozer covers them over.
And the semifinals, going up against Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger.
Grave who? Gravedigger? Who's that?
Can he take the flag away from Team Gravedigger?
May the best man win is all I can say.
We also got Quad Wars, Bike Bash. We've got all kinds of fun stuff, so make sure you don't miss it on TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jam. I'm Dan Moriarty saying goodbye. Mike, Scott, be nice. Say goodbye to the folks at home. See ya.
All right, Dan, we'll see you next week for our Monster Jam here on TNN. It's been a fun one tonight, hasn't it?
Oh, and if you can't get jacked over the fact that Bulldozer and Gravedigger are about to finally square off and go head-to-head, we better check your ticker, because this is going to be incredible.
For Dan Moriarty and Scott Douglas, I'm Mike Hogwood. Thanks for being with us on Motor Madness Monster Jam. See you next week from Orlando, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So long, everybody.